Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm filming this video in another room, as some of you may be able to tell. I'm doing some rearranging in my usual room, and I have to film in this one. It's kind of fitting though. I have more G.I. Joe 1/6 scale figures in this room on display. And I have today a G.I. Joe figure that is another 1/6 scale figure. This is Snake Eyes from the fine folks at ThreeZero. So I had started collecting G.I. Joe figures, well, the 3 3/4 inch figures, quite a while back. And of course, like a lot of other collectors, Snake Eyes was my favorite G.I. Joe character. I think it's pretty much the same with most G.I. Joe fans, at least the ones I've talked to. But before I do anything else, I do suggest subscribing to my channel. I do a lot of reviews on Hot Toys, 1/6 scale collectibles, and other pop culture collectibles on this channel. Let's take a quick look at the amazing artwork on this art box. So the art box has a nice, it looks like a painted background. It looks like obviously a product shot that was painted over, or at least it was maybe photoshopped or whatnot, but it looks like it was been redrawn, and it's got Snake Eyes there. I really like their choice of colors here with the purple and the orange and reds. It looks like they're trying to mimic the vintage card backs of the 3 3/4 inch figures. Side of the box just has the side of Snake Eyes' head, and it's a G.I. Joe and Snake Eyes right there. I do like how the G.I. Joe striping is also depicted on the side here, as if it's continuing from the front. It isn't, but it looks really cool. The back of the box looks really great. It looks like almost comic paneling with a few product shots of Snake Eyes. It's got a nice consistent brown color on the back here. Not too brown, but it makes it kind of look sort of weathered. The bottom it has some info. It's also got, surprisingly, an address listed here. I guess this is where it was manufactured. Just in case some of you decide to go to Hong Kong and go to this address, and congratulate them for a great figure. The final side of the box has a nice purple color, purple bluish color. It's got G.I. Joe there. It's got Snake Eyes, and it's also got this symbol. I don't know if the symbol actually originated from the G.I. Joe movie, the very first one. At least that's the first time I've seen it. It may have come from somewhere else. I'm not an absolute G.I. Joe expert. Of course, if you do know, let me know in the comments. I've noticed that on this side, there's also a sweet hologram here near the bottom. It's got the 3Z on there. I guess that represents ThreeZero. And I guess this is their way of authenticating this figure. You can open the front panel to reveal the Snake Eyes figure itself in a window package. I think it's a neat idea. However, because Snake Eyes himself is kind of covered in plastic here and there, it's not really useful. Just because I can see his face, but the rest of his body has plastic all over it. Still, it was a great idea. Speaking of plastic, when you pull out his accessories, you'll notice a lot of them are actually packaged in a whole lot of plastic. So I'm just going to quickly cut these open, and then we'll have a look at the accessories. So, of course, here are Snake Eyes' accessories. There's quite a bit here. There's also some repetition of some items. I don't know how often you're going to use all 3 of his smoke grenades at once. but I mean, I guess it's kind of cool having them there. You're going to see a whole lot of silvers and blacks, which, you know, I'm not really surprised. It is Snake Eyes. Taking a look at one of his stun grenades here, or flash bombs. It is painted all in black, but there is some scratching here to make it look sort of weathered, so it's just not a flat black. Like I said, he comes with 3 of them. I can't really see myself posing him with all 3 in his hands or whatnot, but I guess I can always give them to other figures if I really wanted to. Here we have a smoke grenade, or smoke bomb. I really do like the weathering that is on, I don't know what's called, I guess the handle or the top part where the pin is. It looks really weathered enough that it looks almost metal. It's not, it's actually plastic, but it looks really good, nicely painted. Sculpt is really simple, but it doesn't need to be too complicated. Snake Eyes has 3 pairs of hands that are extra. Here is kind of like I guess his sword holding hand or knife holding hand. You can hold different things, obviously, in this hand. You've got a left and a right of it. Nice sculpt here. Really do like the kind of line work that is on the hand, so it kind of mimics the textures of a glove. It's painted really nice. There is a bit of weathering on here, so again, it's not just flat black. This one right here is a gun holding hand. There's left and right, of course. I also do like the paneling that's on this hand, and also those kind of lines that are on his fingers. These really do make the glove look really detailed and high tech. I do like this design choice for this figure. And of course, you have left and right matching pairs of this fist hand. Snake Eyes comes with 2 katana. They're pretty long. Nice silver on there. I do like how it's sculpted very neatly. I really like how this blade gives off this kind of clean look, and it's painted ever so nicely that it kind of shines. The silver is a nice contrast to the all black Snake Eyes. Nice small details on the hilt itself. All right, then you have his blade sheath or blade sheaths, and kind of like the belt or holster or kind of like strap that goes around his chest area. I do like the buckle on here. It looks really metallic and rusted. Really great paintwork on here. It's soft, but it's still kind of stiff. So it's not really flimsy or anything. I really do like that. It's got a couple of pouches on the bottom here. Putting the blades into the sheaths, it goes in really smooth, and it actually stays in there really nicely. It's tight enough that it won't cause the blades to just fall off randomly as you turn Snake Eyes upside down. I feel like the part of the guard there also helps kind of lock it in place as it's all the way in. So yeah, this is by far my favorite aspect of these Snake Eyes accessories. I really do like the strap. Moving on, we have a pistol for Snake Eyes. Looks really nice. Again, all in black. It's got just a little bit of weathering on there, not too much. Nice shiny black paint. You can remove the clip from this, which is a neat feature. Before Snake Eyes had katana, of course, he had a trademark Uzi, and here it is. I'm glad to see this made it to his accessories. I can't imagine Snake Eyes without one. Again, looking really nice. Just the right amount of weathering on here. Really nice small details, especially the line work. Nice and shiny. The clip, of course, can be removed. You can rotate this. I don't know what it's called, a folding stock. So it comes out. Snake Eyes also comes with a utility knife. Again, all in black. I wonder, does he just paint all of his weapons in black, or does he specifically look for weapons that are painted black? But I digress. Anyways, utility knife looks really good. Nice weathering on here. Nice sculpt. I do like how the hilt has these little dots or texturing to make it look like an actual hilt. Looks really good. Now, I have this right here. At first, it looked like it was a replacement blade for the utility knife hilt, but I don't think that's what it's for. It may be a throwing knife or a kunai of some sort. At any rate, it is weathered really nicely. Again, all in black. All right, so this was all of Snake Eyes' accessories. So what we're going to do is do a turnaround of the Snake Eyes figure itself, then kind of do a zoom in turnaround. After that, we're just going to take a little break and I'll kind of show you one of my favorite Snake Eyes moments from the past. And then we'll take a closer look at the figure.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
We'll try a breakout when he joins us. Come in, Snake Eyes. Acknowledge, Snake Eyes. Acknowledge.
He's lowering a radioactive shield. Get out of there, Snake!
There was no time for him to get out. He knew that when he brought it down to save us.
There's nothing we can do for him. And we can't get at the crystals either. Hey! Look at there!
A way out. It must have opened automatically when Snake Eyes lowered the shield.
Come on!
We'll never forget you. For what you've done, Snake Eyes. We owe you our lives. For now, we've got to get out of this trap.
Let's move out before Cobra comes in here after us.
Now, back to G.I. Joe.
All right, so getting back to this figure, now that it's in hand, it feels really nice. It feels like a high quality figure. So far I'm pretty impressed. Taking a look at his head sculpt. Now, a lot of people are familiar with the Snake Eyes visor. It's one of his iconic looks. Personally, I like the Commando Snake Eyes, but that's neither here or there. A lot of people do like this look of Snake Eyes, and this is probably the best version of his visor that I have seen. I also want to note that they made some great sculpting decisions here. There's kind of like these lines that kind of make it look like an actual cloth mask that's over his head, so it's just so tight that it's kind of wrinkling over his face. That's a great decision because it's not just flat, it actually does give it a whole lot of dimension to the mask itself. There's also a whole lot of these kind of like rectangular lines that are kind of like, I guess, breathing holes. They just add to the detail of this figure, and I do like the addition of them, so it kind of breaks up the larger parts of his suit. It's not really a face, but you can kind of tell that there is a face underneath, and he's kind of expressionless. I like the side profile of his head. I like how the visor kind of extrudes out a little bit further. I feel this is an excellent rendition of Snake Eyes. A whole lot of detail here, kind of sci-fi-ish, but not too much that he doesn't look like Snake Eyes anymore. This definitely is a Snake Eyes. Checking his head articulation, you can move his head left and right. You can actually move it all the way around if you really wanted to. The neck joint actually allows for him to do kind of like a head tilt. He can look up pretty far. I really like how tight this joint is. It actually stays tight and you're able to pose the head pretty much any way you want to. The range of motion looking downwards isn't as extensive as the one looking up, but it's still not too bad. I'm just checking to see if there is some kind of neck joint. I don't think so. I think you can only move the head pretty much. I really like the design of this chest area here. There's a lot of details here, a lot of different it looks like different materials, but it's just sort of a design. It almost reminds me of an X-Men suit. Just to note, some of you who are familiar with some of the Spider-Man hot toys, the suit almost kind of resembles a few of those ones. The suit is sort of loose on the body, which is good for posing. But you have to kind of watch out to make sure it doesn't really wrinkle as you pose it for too long. I like how it has, as you run your fingers or thumbs around the body, there's different textures that you can feel. It's just not just one texture. I feel it even gets more interesting as you look at the back. There's kind of like that superhero style texture and different panels. And of course, you have those kind of rectangles all over the place to stay consistent with the head sculpt. Looks really neat. Let's check out this ab crunch. So you've got a really good ab crunch with this figure, but of course, like I said, you have to watch out for the wrinkling of the suit just right there in the abdomen area. It will allow for the ab crunch, but again, you're kind of bending the suit. Same thing with the waist twist. He's got a really good waist twist, but you're kind of bending the suit here. So again, just watch out. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be that bad. But for those of you who kind of mind how it looks, it does have a little wrinkling there. Taking a look at his belt, nice kind of metallic belt buckle. It's not really metal, it's just plastic, but it is painted really nicely and it's got some kind of rust on there. So it looks really nice. He's got a whole lot of pouches on this belt. They are not really functional pouches, but it's crazy the amount of pouches he's got. It's almost like Batman. But they do look really good on him. It looks like he's fully prepared for anything. And the pouches look nicely made. Let's look at the detail on this arm. Again, you have that kind of texturing that's broken up with some of the panel work here. He does have kind of like a strap on his bicep and then one just on his forearm with pouches. There is an Arashikage symbol just right on his shoulder. I really feel like the designers of this figure had really studied and looked at the different versions of Snake Eyes and tried to make the best version from them all. It looks like some of this panel work comes from the Snake Eyes from Sigma 6, but some of it really does remind me of the Snake Eyes from Resolute. Actually, some of it even reminds me of the Ray Park Snake Eyes. You can, of course, twist his wrist around. Let's then check this arm articulation here. His joints are really tight. I have to put a lot of force to oppose him. There seem to be ratchets on this arm, so as you pull his arms up, it'll make kind of like a clicking sound. And of course, as you pull his arm up, you'll find the suit will kind of bend at the shoulder. Again, it's really tight, so you're going to have to put a little bit of force just to bring his arm back down. Let's check out his elbow. Actually, first off, let's pull it forward. And again, you'll notice the twisting of the suit just right at the shoulder. Nice ratchets at the shoulder. I feel like because the suit is kind of hindering it, you could probably get it up to this far comfortably. Just going to readjust his arm and then we'll make sure there's no creases on the suit. I do like how his two arms are not really symmetrical. Both arms look different in terms of kind of like the straps that are on his biceps and also on his forearms. The left forearm has armor or some kind of forearm guard. Moving on to his pants. They look just like pants, but they're tailored really well. I like the line that kind of goes down, lines that go down his legs that kind of break up the bigger parts of his pants. There's, of course, a lot of buckles and straps and pouches and a holster. I really do like the fact that these are already attached to the figure. So when you pull out the figure out of the box, it's already attached for you. You don't have to do any finagling with any of these straps, which could be a pain in the butt for those of you who have seen some of my previous videos. For example, the Lara Croft one, where I had to attach a whole lot of things to her, or at least one of those straps that is on her torso. That took me a while. So thank you very much, ThreeZero. Moving downwards, he's got some nice knee guards that are painted with a nice gunmetal color. Makes it look like metal, but it's not actually metal. Again, I liked how it's already strapped on for you. Nicely sculpted. A little bit of weathering there, not too much. And he's also got matching boots. Again, a gunmetal color. Nice details on here. A little bit of weathering as well. I do like how they're not attached to the foot, so that allows the foot to have really good articulation just because it's a ball socket in there. Lots of details and lines on the foot itself. Even the bottom of the feet look really high tech and neat. Oh, there's actually a 3-0 symbol underneath here. That's kind of cool. Let's now test out some of his articulation on his legs and feet. So as expected, the joints are pretty tight, but they're manageable. Really good range of motion. You can pull his leg up this far. So you kind of have to locate his knee when you're bending it. In this case, it's just underneath his kind of knee guards there. All right, that bent actually pretty nicely. I believe it feels like it's a double bend in there. So it looks like you can twist his leg just right at the upper joint there. I figured there was a twist at the knee, but it doesn't appear to be so. It looks like the only twisting joint is just right near the torso. Looking at that ball joint just right at the ankle, looks like it's got really great range of motion, which is awesome. Also, his feet are quite large. I guess they're normal size, but because they're large and flat, I assume that he'll be pretty easy to stand as he doesn't come with any base or anything. Although there is no toe articulation, he does have a rocker on the ankle, which is very handy as well. The main takeaway I get from this figure is that he seems very poseable. He's great. He's got good range of motion everywhere. And it was a whole lot more poseable than I thought it would be, especially with this kind of suit. Let's put some of his gear on, and we'll try putting him in a few poses. Right, so first off, let's put his kind of, I guess, katana holster on. Like I said, it's really stiff, and it does form the shape of his torso, which is really good. At least I think it'll cling to his body. Obviously, you'll want to remove his head so you're able to just sling it over the other shoulder. And there it is. Wow, I really do like how tight it is on the body. It doesn't seem like it's going to fall off or anything. And like I said, it's formed around the shape of his torso. So it's just going to move along with the posing of the torso. So it's a big change, especially after I did a review of the Lara Croft, where everything was just falling off. This really seems like it's not going to detach or nothing's going to fall off of it, which is a relief. And of course, we can take his pistol and just slide it into that right-hand holster. Let's just fit it into here and, oh, nice. I do like how you put it into the holster. There's like somewhat of a snap or a click, and it just stays positioned right in the holster. So if you turn Snake Eyes upside down, it's not going to fall out because it's pretty snug. And after that, we can just slide this utility knife into that sheath that's just on his backside. And there we have it. Since Snake Eyes didn't come with any stand or anything, I'm just borrowing this Jill Valentine one for now. And later on, we'll try posing him without any stand. And here's some comparisons. First off, we have the ThreeZero Snake Eyes alongside a Pepsi can. Pretty good height. And then we have the ThreeZero Snake Eyes alongside the Sideshow Snake Eyes. This is version 2. Now you can tell there's a big difference between the body types. That Sideshow one is very unusual. I feel like his torso was really too short and he lacks a whole lot of muscle tone. It pretty much is a skinny body with like kind of like a cloth sweater on, and it looks really odd, to be honest. Like, I mean, back in the day, I guess it would look fine, but when you compare him to the ThreeZero Snake Eyes right now, yeah, it definitely is lacking. The pants are a whole lot, they're different. The Sideshow Snake Eyes pants are nice and baggy and a big knee pads, and he's got like straps going everywhere, whereas the ThreeZero Snake Eyes obviously looked a whole lot more streamlined and cleaned up. So I definitely prefer this ThreeZero Snake Eyes. Then we have the Sideshow Snake Eyes. This is version 1. This is more of the Commando version of Snake Eyes, or the original version of Snake Eyes. I do like this one a little bit better than the version 2. It doesn't look as skinny, but again, I feel like the torso is way too short. His head is kind of big, especially because it doesn't have a whole lot of detail on it like the ThreeZero Snake Eyes. But at least the body shape looks a whole lot better. But again, comparing the two of them together, there's no question that ThreeZero Snake Eyes looks a whole lot better. Moving on, we are comparing the ThreeZero Snake Eyes alongside the Hot Toys G.I. Joe Retaliation Snake Eyes. Now, this Snake Eyes it has a little, the proportions are a little bit better. Still has a big head to me, but at least the torso is a little bit tapered in the middle, so he looks a little bit more streamlined. The pants aren't as baggy. It does look like a very functional suit that he's wearing. I do like the armor on the Hot Toys Snake Eyes. Although I enjoyed the design of the Hot Toys Snake Eyes, I still think the ThreeZero Snake Eyes is better. Just because I can, why not pull out some other Snake Eyes figures just so we can do a little bit more comparisons. Here are a few of the 3 3/4 inch figures. Obviously, there's going to be a huge height difference between them, but just to show you what they look like, here you are. And as MGO316, if you guys follow him, as he would say, they're precious. Here's a little side note for you. To actually have these figures ready to do this comparison, I actually had to repair a few of them. I found my G.I. Joe figures, but over time, the rubber band in between had snapped off because they had deteriorated so much. I'm sure a lot of you out there who collected or collect these figures know about these little rubber bands that do tend to snap off. So I actually had to go through and repair a few of them. So yay! ThreeZero Snake Eyes is just a tad over 12 inches. Actually, without the base, it'd probably be just 12 inches on the dot. I've played around with the Snake Eyes a little bit as I've made this video, and here's a good example of what he can do without a base. So his ankles are really good. They're really tight, and his feet are flat and they're long, so that you're able to pose Snake Eyes in different poses without even using a base or anything, which I am happy to say. Although that suit may at first look like it's going to hinder his posability, it really doesn't. The body tends to pose underneath the suit. Now, it does cause the suit to bend and wrinkle a little bit, so it's at your discretion, but you are able to pose him in a lot more poses than you would figure. I do like some of the tightness of the joints. It does help in standing him upright. For example, like the ankles aren't going to give way on me, or the joints at the base of his legs, or his elbows, or anything like that. The wrists are pretty tight as well. I really like the overall design of this figure. Like I said before, it feels like whoever designed it did his or her homework. They pretty much probably looked at the different Snake Eyes that have been out there before, and they tried to create the best looking Snake Eyes that they could. And I think they really succeeded. I do like a whole lot of the different panels and line work, little lines here and there, the armor that's on his body, his gloves, his suit, everything about him just looks so nice, so high tech, and yet it's really modern. Snake Eyes is a recognizable character that if you take one glance at him, you want to say, yep, that's Snake Eyes, and not even question. And I really feel that. Like, if you look at this figure, you're like, yeah, that definitely is Snake Eyes. All of his weapons fit really nicely. His strap that goes around his shoulders, like I said before, it's a nice, tight, snug fit. Turn him upside down, it's not going to fall off. Same with the gun holster. You put that gun in there, you put the knife in the sheath. You turn them upside down, it's not going to fall out. You put the katana into their sheaths. You turn them upside down, it's not going to fall out. I really do like that aspect. Nothing's flying off of this figure, which I appreciate, especially since I like to pose my figures here and there, and I don't want to be wasting any time just having to put these items back on because they keep falling off of the figure. So ThreeZero comes out with figures here and there. Like, they don't come out with figures all the time like Hot Toys, or at least with the frequency and the amount. But if they work hard on what they do release, they can take their time and they can release figures like this. I would be very happy. I know they have a Storm Shadow coming out to match this Snake Eyes. I am sort of in a hurry to get it because I do want a Storm Shadow, but at the same time, if they take their time and send out a quality figure like this one, I would be very, very pleased. So Snake Eyes is available. I believe it's still available at Sideshow and other retailers. But for those of you who have picked up this figure already, what do you think of it? Do you agree with my review, or do you think this figure has problems or issues? Let me know in the comments below. No figure is perfect. No pop culture collectible is perfect. There usually is an issue with something here and there. I can't really say there's a perfect item or figure out there. And it's always good to hear what other people's opinions are on figures. But it looks like it's about that time. Definitely like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will hope to see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.